And the man just shouted, "See the baby now, what's wrong with you people? Why not help her? Why not do this? You know the baby is big, she's a first time." Finally, break is over. All right, hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so sorry for that short break. Honestly, it was not planned and so good to be back. Anyways, you already know what this video is about, and I'm so excited because you guys kept asking, and now you have it. So go ahead to subscribe if you haven't, and then like this video sharp because you're going to enjoy every bit of this video, and I'm going to be sharing, you know, everything I wish I knew, and also give you the story of how my labor experience went, you know. So stay tuned, watch it to the very end, and you know how we do it now. Drop your comment so I can know what parts stood out to you in the entire video. Shall we? Let's get into it. So from the pregnancy video, if you haven't seen it, I advise you go see that first before coming back. From that video, I already shared how the whole pregnancy journey, you know, from PCOS to pregnancy, I already shared all of that, first, second, third trimester. And, you know, I like the feedback you guys give on that video. Thank you so much for engaging and watching that video. Okay, so what I did not mention in that video is that my EDD, I had like 2 EDDs actually. So the doctors, according to their calculations, their EDD was June 29th, right? And fun fact, my baby just recently turned 1. So yeah. But when I went for scan, the first scan, the EDD was July 3rd. Right, July 3rd. So that was like a week interval from what the doctor said. So right from time, I always knew that I would not have a June baby. For some reason, I just wanted a July baby. And I strongly believe that God will give me July baby. So I wasn't really expecting baby in June, right? But as the month was progressing, as we got to like that June 27, 28-ish, I was feeling funny in different manner, but no blood, no show, no water, nothing. I think on the 27th, was the first time I felt like a backache. It was quite serious and it was coming at intervals, right? So I told you from that last video, I have a standby nurse. In fact, I have 2, right? They're both matrons. So I called one of the nurses to explain to her, and she was like, so it was late at night, around that 11 p.m. And you know, my husband was so worried and scared and excited altogether. So he was like, let's go to the hospital. But because I didn't even miss any antenatal, and from the explanation, from the antenatal teachings, I just strongly knew like it wasn't time, right? So the nurse just aligned with my thought and said, you know what, let's watch it till morning. If anything at all, she would still be like, I would still be fine till 5 a.m. So if anything at all, we can leave for the hospital at that time. And that was it. Fun part, I slept and woke up very late that morning. Anyways, no issues. 29th came, I didn't feel anything. 30th, now bear in mind that, but before we get to that, I was already feeling heavy, my back was aching, my body was aching. I was just mentally tired of the whole pregnancy, and I was like, let's just do this, right? Must you use like your complete 40 weeks? Your mates are already out. So I was actually really tired of being pregnant, right? And when it was on the 2nd of July, like my tiredness got to the peak, and I just, you know, started searching for how to induce myself, because in the last antenatal before the week I gave birth, that was before July 3rd, 4th, my doctor mentioned that if I don't fall into labor on the 29th, right, if they don't bring me in for labor, for delivery, and I come for the next antenatal and I'm still not in labor, they are going to induce me. And from what I had read and what I knew, that inducing is not an easy thing. Like it's very, very painful, and I didn't want that. So I started praying. I started like browsing how to induce labor naturally and all that. So it was on the 2nd, I went to the market and I bought, I think 2 or 3 pineapples. I just wanted to really take pineapple. I remember pineapple like affected me in first trimester, right? So I just went to buy pineapple and I was eating pineapples. I was eating dates. I was eating pineapples, dates, and everything. I think oranges. Like I was just pretty much taking fruit so that I could, you know, get induced naturally and baby could come. Well, nothing happened on the 2nd of July, but on the 3rd of July, in the morning, around 5:37 a.m. ish, I woke up with a pain, like a very sharp pain beneath my belly. I was wondering what could be the cause. So I woke up with it, and then it was going, it was coming. Now my husband, I was even anxious. He had slept, and I was trying to wake him up, but he was tired. You know, man was tired. Anyways, I tried to study. I just had a strong nudge, like it was time, right? But I wanted to like relax and understand what exactly was happening. So I was timing it, and I saw that it was about 10 to 15 minutes interval. The pain would come, it would go, it would come, it would go. So I think around past 6:30 ish, I just woke my husband, like, I think it's about time. And immediately was like, let's go, let's go. I said, no, it's not time. Let's still give it time till I fall into active labor. But he would not listen, and he just said, let's start going, because I mean, it's our first time and all that. So we got to the hospital that morning, and I was 2 cm, you know, dilated. That was July 3rd. I was 2 centimeter dilated. And you guys, if you're a new mom here, or you're someone that is experiencing pregnancy, I was not informed that they will be checking. The way I'm saying this is funny, but like the nurse actually put their hand inside to check, you know, how many cm I was and all that. Like, it didn't dawn on me that it would be done frequently, because that was like a silly pain, you know, because they had to do it at intervals, put their hands to check and all that. So the checking began, and after 2 cm I was asked to stay in the ward, and labor progressed. I think about 4 p.m. or so, I was about 5 or 6 cm dilated, right? And then about 8 p.m. at night, I was about 8 cm or 7 cm dilated, right? So I was moved to the delivery ward itself. So for context, I use the government hospital, right? Because based off of my consultation and, you know, recommendations, that was what I got as the best around me. And I honestly have no regrets. I won't even lie. I have no regrets using them. Anyways, at about, I think, 9 p.m., 10 p.m., I was taken to the delivery room itself, and this was the beginning of it. So I had entered into active labor from that 7 p.m.-ish, and the pain got worse. At this time, honestly, I was in a place where I didn't even know where I was. Like, the pain was really, really crazy. You know, at intervals, I'll call for my husband. I would just tell him I'm tired, I'm in pains and all that. But he would ask me to always confess, you know, confess positively. Was praying, you know, I was just confessing scriptures, praying, singing, doing all of that. So I think on that place, so in the afternoon I ate amala because I was hungry, and I asked the nurses that you know, if I could eat, and they said sure, since I wasn't doing CS. Guess what? I vomited everything, like every single thing. I vomited everything on that delivery bed. I vomited it all. In fact, I vomited more than what I ate. I was vomiting water, vomiting everything, and with the tears, the pain, everything, I got tired. Now, fast forward to when I was already fully dilated, according to the nurses, like I was already 10 cm dilated, and the baby was ready to come out. I was tired. Like, I was already exhausted, and I was at the point of sleeping. Like, I don't know how to explain it. You are in pain, but you are tired, you want to sleep. Now, that was number one problem. Number two problem was that I didn't even know how to push. I didn't know what to do. So I was asking the nurses, like, what am I to do? What should I do? And the woman was like, ha. Honestly, it wasn't funny, because I mean, the scan already showed that my baby is big, 4.3 kg, and I didn't know how to push. I was tired, I was feeling dizzy and all that, and it was a lot. So I mean, I kept on praying. At that time I was already really tired. I was tired, and they kept on giving me drip. I think it was sugar or something, just to boost my strength, help me. And they were trying to keep me awake. You know, I learned it's very dangerous to sleep at that time, right? So they were trying to keep me awake. And anyways, fast forward to now, this one is very important, because I would just say this is the hand of God. Now, at that point, like I said, I was just crying, I was in tears and all that. And a surgeon came from the surgical ward to the delivery ward to actually take CS patients, you know, and he heard my voice. So my husband was in the main ward there, and he was the one that told me this. So the man heard my voice and was like, who be that one? Like, who is that one? And they told him, oh, it's a primary. Primary is what they call first timers. I don't know the meaning, but like maybe primary. Maybe, yeah, but like primary. So they explained to him everything, and he was like, okay, let him go check. And then he came inside. So immediately he entered, I was just like, sir, please just help me. Like, I was trying to talk, like, please just help me, I'm tired. And then the man was like, carry on, let's go to the come and do CS now, come and do this. I was like, you just help me, because before then I had already thought of, you know, opting for that CS, because the pain was crazy. But I just kept the faith, honestly, because I just told my husband, like, I don't want to do CS. If I would have done CS, I would have done it before experiencing all this pain. Why now, you know? And I just strongly believe God will strengthen me, and no issues with CS. Now, please, disclaimer, I don't have any issue with CS. It was just personally, I didn't want CS, especially because I had already almost 20 hours of labor. I'd already gone through that. We'll now do CS at the end of the day. Double CS, no. So anyway, I told the man, and he was like, yeah, he would check. And then he checked, and the man just shouted, see the baby now, what's wrong with you people? Why not help her? Why not do this? You know, the baby is big, she's a first timer. Why not do this, do that? And before I knew, the man just said, madam, you are going to do an episiotomy, okay? I'm going to help you bring this baby out in no time. Are you ready? I just said yes. But I shouted again. I said, Jesus, because I know what episiotomy is. In case you don't know it, let me tell you. Episiotomy is that they will cut you, like cut you down there, yeah. They will cut you to actually make room for the baby to come out. And in my case, because the baby was big, and initially they said something was covering the baby's hair or something, yet they removed that, but like the baby was big. And I think I didn't mention, they also broke my water. They were the ones that broke my water around at 8 p.m 9 p.m ish, because I was just getting dilated and all that, but my water didn't break, although I had seen blood in the evening around maybe 5 or so. I'd already seen the show. We call it, they call it show. I'd already seen that. So immediately the man said that he asked for, prepare the episiotomy plate. He asked for all of that. And before I knew it, whew, it happened. And the man just caught me. So I think he injected me. Yeah. So he was like, I'm going to inject you, but I won't wait for it to up. So I think he wanted to like, what's the word? What they do to make pain reduce or something. He wanted to do that, but there was no time because they were getting worried for the baby not to be tired. I think that's dangerous, because once the baby is tired or the baby starts to poo in the belly and all that, it's dangerous at that point. So the man just did cha-cha-cha-cha like with the needle, and the next thing, he cut me open. Now, after cutting, he just faced me and said, madam, I need you to summon all your strength. I know you are tired. I know this, I know that, but summon all your strength and push. Do as if. So I asked, I said, how? What should I do? Please don't abuse me, oh. Now, first time I be. So I just asked, like, what should I do? And then the man said, you do as if you want to poo-poo, but you won't poo-poo, but you will just, in fact, he just explained everything. And I said, okay. And then I was just mumbling in my, like, under my breath, like, God, please. And ladies and gentlemen, I would say that in less than 2 minutes, my baby was out. I don't know where that strength came from, but I know that I summoned everything I had within me, and God just pushed out the baby. The next thing I knew was like, I felt relief. I don't even know how to explain. You know, when they carry load out of you, I knew he dragged the, yeah. So after the baby's head or something, I know he dragged the baby out, and then I felt this relief. And next thing, they just put the baby on my belly, like, okay, look at it. What's the gender? What's the gender? What's the gender? I said, yes, my baby, Moyolu. I just shouted, Moyolu, logo. So yes, my baby bears my name, and I'd already said that before I gave it to her. You know, that was the first thing I said, like, oh my God, thank you, my baby, Moyolu, logo. And I started praying over her and all that. So while they were cleaning, cutting all of the placenta and all that, I was just praying, and they took the baby to go clean the baby, right? Of course, I touched her. Blood, but yeah. Anyways, that was you know, how baby came out for me. And I remember when the nurse was cleaning me up, the first question I asked her, very funny question, don't laugh. I said, ma, how do people give birth to 7? Like, why? How? What's wrong with them? And the woman just laughed, like, don't worry, you soon forget. I said, forget what? I don't think I can forget. Like, see how I'm telling you word for word something that happened a year ago. I'm sure I can still say it in the next 50 years, you know. And like, that's just on the light notes. But yes, that was it for me. I got cleaned up, and then we moved. Now, at that point, I didn't even know that something had happened to me, right? Because I got stitched back immediately after baby came out. You know, I got stitched back, and I didn't know that something had happened. I didn't know that I would not be able to sit down, you know. Episiotomy pain is something else, but it's, I mean, I went through it gracefully, and if that is what, you know, you may experience as well, it's bearable by God's grace. But I won't lie, it was painful. I could not sit. Even on the naming ceremony day, I had to maintain a particular position. You know, walking, standing up for the first couple of weeks was not easy. I won't lie. So I had to like do this warm water bath, not hot water, like very warm, like warm, almost cold, right? Water bath, putting salt and Dettol and all that. I had to do it. I think I can say I got myself well, maybe after 7 weeks. Pretty much, yeah. I think in the 7th week, 8th week, I became better, like stronger, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. So one of the things that helped me then was that I spoke to, you know, my cousin's wife. Shout out to you, Sister Dami. So I spoke to her, and because she also went through episiotomy, and she was able to help me understand how to maneuver that phase, right? And she just helped me know that, oh, it's a phase, it's normal, this is normal, this is normal, you would overcome it and all that. So yes, you can speak to someone as well. Now let me tell you a funny thing. So I gave birth on a Thursday, right? And I was discharged the 2nd day, and immediately we got home that night. I didn't know that motherhood had started. So we're all in the house, right? We slept. Everybody were so tired from the hospital stress. Like I was extremely tired. And guess what happened? We had all slept. Baby had slept. And guess who was crying in the midnight? Baby. None of us woke up. None. Not me, not my husband, not my friend woke up. It was my mom that came from her room, right, where she slept, that came and woke us up like, baby has been crying. And the first thing I asked her was, have we started? Like, why is she crying? Why is she not? Why is she not sleeping, man? Why? I didn't know that I started. Since that day, my people, I never sleep overnight. No, I never. But yeah, I mean, that was so funny. And that was the time, you know, when they say it was at that point that she knew that she had entered into it. Yeah, that was the time I knew that I had given birth, you know. And the truth of the matter is, postpartum is another experience. And I'm not even going to go into details, but I'll just say it's a bittersweet experience. It's sweet, you are happy, you know, you have God's blessing, you know, you are experiencing joys of motherhood, you know, something beautiful came out of you. And then the next minute, you are just overwhelmed, you're tired. You feel like, can this person just go to their mommy's house for a while? Can I breathe? Can I rest? You know, it's a lot, honestly, because on some days you are just like, I need a break, and you just cry. There are days where I cry, I'm just tired. But most of the time, I'm always very grateful. I actually replace it with gratitude, right? And so around 8 months of being pregnant, I started taking the lactation milk, lactation products from a brand. I'm going to add them to the description in case you need it. So I was taking their products, and I know that was part of things that contributed to my baby's weight. So that's a disclaimer, because I was told, you know, I was asked questions, and then I was told that that could be a factor apart from genetical factor. You know, I was big, my husband was big, and all that. But yeah, I had very good milk supply. I was also taking a lot of pap when I was pregnant. In fact, I started lactating when I was 7 months pregnant. Very funny. But yeah, I started lactating then, but it stopped eventually after a while. So one other thing that I was not informed about with regards to postpartum, or like after pregnancy, after giving birth, was let me spell it out so that YouTube doesn't take down my video. SEX. Why is nobody talking about it? Like, why is nobody talking about it? Because it was painful. So I'm just going to talk briefly on, like, apart from the physical pain, I think there is a mental pain as well, because you have to recover mentally. Like, for me, it was more like, this thing led me to experience this much pain. I'm done. You get, so it was not easy coming back, you know, bringing my mind back to say, oh, this is normal, you should actually do this, God has ordained this, you know, this and that. But thank God for having an understanding partner, and thank God for his wisdom, right? It took a while, but eventually we overcame that. But yeah, those first pains, they are painful, man. So I'm just going to sum up everything that I have shared and the ones that I have not shared in these 5 lessons regarding delivery and regarding postpartum. So the first thing I would say is that delivery pain is not something you can prepare for. Honestly, I thought because I had enough knowledge, of course the knowledge helped, but I didn't even know how to push, right? So your body can surprise you, you know, different things can come up. I'm praying nothing evil comes up for any of us, but like, different things come up for people, right? And it's just unpredictable. And that will lead me to the second point, which is being very prayerful and spiritual. This whole delivery thing is very spiritual, because I won't lie, at some point I didn't even know where I was, whether I was alive or in another world, because it's actually another world, honestly. And being prayerful really helps, that God should send help, you know, would meet the right doctors, nurses, and all that. Because in my own case, that particular doctor was heaven sent. And he even said it was like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I just feel like helping you. So this third point is very helpful. And there is a particular nurse, I tried looking for her. I went back to the hospital to look for her, but I didn't see her. I'm really grateful to God for her. She was so supportive. And the reason is I asked questions. See, ask enough questions. You don't know how to push, ask. You don't know what to do, ask, right? When I wanted to urinate, I was asking, should I go ahead? Should I do this? Should I, like, keep asking questions. It helps a lot. It helps a lot, because you may not know how to, especially if you're a first timer. Even if you are not a first timer, I've heard that, you know, each pregnancy experiences are different. So asking enough questions from your health practitioner, and of course getting enough knowledge beforehand, is very helpful. And then this fourth one, see, postpartum will shake you. I'm not even going to, like, this is not a matter of God forbid. I said so many God forbids, but it will shake you. Even if you are ready, even if you are a superwoman, even if you are strong, there are days where you will cry, like cry. There are days where it seems like you want to question your decisions. There are days where you would enjoy it. It will be so beautiful, but it's all a roller coaster, honestly. So postpartum is a different experience on its own. And now I understand why people always talk about postpartum depression, because it is real. It is very real. But I guarded my mind and I prayed to God beforehand that I don't want to be depressed. Rather, I want to experience joy even in the roller coaster. So what I would always do was to, you know, play songs, just be grateful, talk to my baby, and then see it as, you know, God blessed me with, you know, his best gift, instead of seeing it as, you know, negativity and all that. That really helped me navigate postpartum and all that. This final point from me, this is the best advice I received after giving birth. Shout out to Shokwe. Shokwe told me then, because she knows how much of a perfectionist I am. I like to do my things myself and all that. Shokwe just said, see, Moi, receive help. Like, be very open to receiving help. And I'm glad I took that advice, because help does not show weakness. See, it's just you maximizing strength. It's maximizing answered prayers. I maximized help, because in motherhood, it's a necessity. I won't even lie. Like, all the while my mom-in-law was with me, my mom was with me, my siblings, I don't have sisters, but like my brothers, the times when they were with me, they were really helpful. And if I needed something, I would be open, you know, to say, please help with this, please help with that. They may not do it as perfect as I want, you know, but I was open to accepting whichever way they would do it. And I'm glad that helped. Even till date, I still ask for help, right? Because you can't be a superwoman in motherhood. Yes, I hope you found this video helpful. I've shared my story and I've given you, you know, lessons, things I wish I knew, right? So if you're a new mom, if you're preparing for labor, if you're just someone who is curious to know what my journey was or what labor generally is like, I hope you found it helpful eventually. Please give this video a thumbs up. Go ahead to subscribe if you haven't, and then drop a comment below. Just encourage in the comments so that someone else can as well see this video. Go ahead to share it as well, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you. I love you. I love you. Bye.